again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we are talking Jets tonight. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Salutes to all the savages. Outlaw, I see you. Dakota, I see you. We're talking about it all. CJ Uzomah just got cut. We're going to be talking about free agency, Jet stuff, guys not getting tagged. We're going to be discussing it all. Call in 515-602-9639. Give me a second, folks, and we're going to connect the audio. Hold on.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it, back at it, back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, I am hyped, as y'all can tell. All right, we have free agency. It's coming around the bend. It's right around the corner. All right, a lot of things moving and shaking today in the NFL. CJ Uzomah was released. We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing the New York Jets not tagging Bryce Huff. It happened. He's not tagged. We're going to be talking about targets and all kinds of things, man. Contracts that need to be restructured. We're going to be discussing a little bit about the combine as well. And your boy Jamal Adams, he's a free agent too. I told y'all. But let me go ahead and get into the show, okay? Because I'm fired up. I cannot wait, okay? I cannot wait to have these discussions. Listen, call in 515-602-9639. Listen, I got to get into it. Listen. I'm so hyped, man. I'm so freaking hyped to talk to y'all about what's going on here with this football team. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. Okay. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I am also, for those of you that may not know, I'm also on Twitter as well. Go on over to Twitter, okay? Type in at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, okay? Subscribe to, or follow me, follow me on Twitter and talk to your boy because I'll talk back. Let's go back and forth, all right? I am also, for those of you that may not know, I am also on iTunes as well. Yes, I'm on iTunes, okay? The podcast goes on over there. Go on over there, type in The Long Beach Joe Show, subscribe, okay, over there to the podcast, and leave me a 5-star rating and let me know what you folks think about what I'm doing here at the show. Leave me some feedback, all right? And I appreciate all of y'all that do that, okay? And again, salutes and respect to all of my overseas listeners and all my followers. All of the people that, you know, check in with your boy. Salutes to everybody. For those of you that also do not know, I'm on YouTube as well, okay? For some of y'all may be confused. You know, you hear me, you listen to the podcast, and you go, well, Joe, how else can we get in contact with you? Come on over to YouTube, okay? Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, all right? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Also, give the video and the stream a thumbs up, okay? It helps my content get on out there. And I appreciate all of y'all that do that. All right. A lot of people come over. They be like, wow, Joe, you're handsome. And I thank you. Thank you, ladies, for the kind comments. Okay. I'm not egotistical. No, not me. I'm just working with what I got. But, you know, when you come on over here, just keep in mind, okay? I got an audience, man, and I call them the savages. That's what I call my chat. All right. I call them the savages. You want to know why? Because they are savage. Savage! Listen, man, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe, okay? Not even me. Not even me. If they don't like a take that I have, they're going to let me know about it, okay? They're going to let me know about it, trust. And they'll let you know about it too. So when you come over here, be able to stand on your takes, all right? Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I see you. Dakota, salutes. Always good to see you in the building. Outlaw, salutes, okay? Always good to see you as well. So please get involved with your boy any way that you can. Again, salutes to all of my overseas listeners and everybody that listens to your boy, all right? Now, it's time to get into it because we got quite a bit to discuss. I got callers on the line. Again, 515-602-9639. Call in. I'm taking all callers. When you call in, be patient, okay? We will get to everybody. Trust me. Excuse me, all right? So quickly, we're going to cover some Jets news here. For those of you that may not know, CJ Uzomah will be released by the New York Jets. That will bring the New York Jets cap saving with him being gone to about $25 million. That's a hefty amount, okay? We know the New York Jets definitely need some money, some cash. They need to address some positions going into free agency, offensive line being one of them. A lot of people talking about the wide receiver position being, a position of need as well that they probably can grab another free agent from. We'll be discussing that tonight as well, all right? Now, the thing about CJ Uzomah, when you look at the New York Jets tight end position, CJ, when we first got him, we were excited about bringing him into the building. His first year, we know he came in, he blocked a lot. The New York Jets were handling their business. They was running the ball heavy with Breece Hall at first before Breece went down, and he was a big part of that. But we saw this past season that, man, there was a lot of issues with CJ Uzomah, okay? A lot of issues. Again, he's a veteran tight end. We saw a lot of drops. I'm talking drops left and right. Man, I cannot get the drop that he had against the Chargers out of my head. He was all alone in the end zone by himself. And our quarterback dropped the ball. I'm talking hit him right in the chest, and he just bobbled it. He fell to the ground, bobbling it, and actually dropped an easy touchdown catch right there. But another thing that was extremely frustrating was the penalties. The penalties by CJ Uzomah. It was mind-blowing. Some of the things that he was getting involved in, the holding calls. I remember he had a holding call against the Raiders. Oh, my goodness. He had a holding call against the Raiders that just took me out of my mind, man. Oh, my goodness, bro. It took me there. It took me there. And he had a lot of penalties this year, holding calls and stuff like that negated touchdowns or big gains, big first downs. Just stuff that was unlike, plays that veterans should be making. So when you look at the situation, now with him, being moved on from the Jets, recoup some of that cash, they get some savings. They get $25 million to go into free agency with to try to spend and get some things done. And you look at our tight end position, and I don't think we're starved at all there. I really, really don't. I know a lot of people we're going to talk about draft plans and Bowers and stuff. Listen. Tyler Conklin, we got him into the building, okay? We already know he's here. He's been a solid tight end for us. And he's absolutely produced for us as well. He was second on the New York Jets in receptions this season. Garrett Wilson was the only guy ahead of him, right? And he had over 620 yards this season. So I don't think we're hurting at all, especially when you look at even behind Conklin, you got Jeremy Ruckert. Jeremy Ruckert looked really good this season. Really, really good, okay? Like, really good. And he's a guy that continues to come about. A young guy. We saw his blocking ability really turn up. That's how he would utilize this year. We also saw that he could catch the football as well. He's made quite a bit of catches for us, and he's a guy that continues to take a step forward. We know we drafted him very recently in the same draft that we got Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and Jermaine Johnson and Sauce, and the names go on, right? And Jeremy Ruckert was a steal in that draft, and I really like us going forward with him. We also have Zach K. I'm not going to say his full name because, YouTube be hating on you, boy. You know what I'm saying? But we got Zach K from ODU, who's a 6'7" big target. Maybe we'll work with him and work him into the rotation as well. So we'll see what happens going forward with that. But I don't think the New York Jets are starved at tight end. There's also some tight end options out there in free agency if the Jets want to go that route. Okay, if they want to go that route. You got Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Gerald Everett, Austin Hooper, Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki. These are guys that could be out there. All right, these are guys that could be out there. So we'll see what happens going forward. But moving on from CJ Uzomah, I believe, was the right move. And I really like what's going on. NY Flight Jets Talk salutes to you and the Savages in the chat. He says, is the number for call-ins? Yes, the number to call in is 515-602-9639. That is the number to call in. Okay, when you call in, hold on, be patient. I will get to you. We just have to cover this news. So salutes to you. All right, you can call in now. All right. Again, we'll get to the lines in just a second. We just got to go through, this news really quickly. So the New York Jets also did not tag Bryce Huff. Boy, oh boy. Oh boy, this is interesting, isn't it? Right now, again, we heard Joe Douglas come out in the combine and talk about how their plan was not to, sign Huff as of now, is what he said. But we'll see that they came through with that, okay? And that they're going to try to have productive talks. Now, here's the deal, all right? Bryce Huff led the New York Jets in sacks. Over 10 sacks this season. He's a guy that's gotten better year after year. He's an ascending player, a guy that really has put in the work, and he's one of our guys. Undrafted guy, came into the building, has really put on and put things together. I will be highly upset, and I'm being honest with you. I'm going to be highly upset if Bryce Huff walks away from the New York Jets and we get nothing in return, especially when we're talking about a Super Bowl year, okay? Because that's what everybody expects, right? Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Everybody expects playoffs. Everybody's talking about how the New York Jets better take the next step this season. Well, guess what, baby? In a passing league, you better be able to rush the passer, and you better be able to rush the passer consistently, okay? Especially if you're talking about a Super Bowl, because right now, yet again, for another year, the Super Bowl runs through Kansas City. And if you don't have somebody and they mama to get after Patrick Mahomes, he's going to destroy you like he does everybody else. All right. Now, I understand Jermaine Johnson is behind Bryce Huff, and Jermaine Johnson's a great player, Pro Bowler, right? He's a solid guy. I think he has 7.5 sacks this year. He's going to definitely have to get those sack totals up if Bryce leaves and his production and impact is out the door. But then after Jermaine Johnson, there's some question marks. You got to wonder, can Will McDonald take that next step? Is Will McDonald ready to be a double-digit sack guy in year 2? Because this first year, he was deactivated in games, used sparingly throughout the rest of the season. Is he ready to come straight off the porch? Boom, year 2, we need you double sack guy. We need you to be one of the better pass rushers in the league. Can you put that type of pressure on him? Can he deliver? That's big. That's big expectations. And again, he's going to have Super Bowl expectations on his back as well. I would really like to see the New York Jets keep Bryce Huff. I would really like to see us have that triple-headed kind of monster as far as pass rush, especially, again, look, I just talked about Patrick Mahomes, and we got Lamar Jackson and Burrow and CJ Stroud and Herbert. Now, I can keep going on with the names of AFC quarterbacks that we're going to have to go through. There's a litany of guys. Never mind the fact the NFC. We're talking Jalen Hurts, and I can keep rolling. Heck, we got Josh Allen in our backyard. He's in our division. You have to be able to get after these guys and bring the pain consistently. And so, I would really like to see Bryce Huff stay a Jet. I'm thinking anywhere from, there's a lot of talk about 15, 16, 17. We'll see. Free agency is, it's a rough time. We know that the deals start flying and those numbers go north, okay? We've seen other pass rushers that teams covet not get away, right? We saw Brian Burns, the Panthers said, we're franchise tagging you. You're staying here. We saw the Jags franchise Josh Allen, another guy as a pass rusher. So, man, good pass rushers like Huff really do not often hit free agency whatsoever, especially when they're in their primes like him. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Joe Douglas does and if he can retain Huff and keep him a New York Jet, which I think would be pivotal if we're talking about the Jets getting to where they need to go next season. Now, as we continue to talk about the New York Jets and their cap situation and what's going on here, surprise cuts. There's some guys that could be up out of here, all right? And it's going to be very interesting to see how the Jets maneuver this situation. Now, there's also some guys that are looking to restructure their contracts as well. JFM, bro, that guy's cap number is $16.3 million in 2024. They're going to have to restructure that contract. They got to get that done. Also, C.J. Mosley, and you can thank, oh, my Lord, You can thank Mike McCagnon for this one. Whoa. Oh my God, he was such a bad general manager. Listen, I love CJ Mosley. Love him. But he gave him a massive contract, and they've just constantly tried to restructure and move things around and add void years. CJ Mosley will count for $21 million in 2024 if they don't find a way to restructure his contract as well. And it's going to be very interesting. If they turn down those restructures, what do you do with them? Do you move on from them? How do you handle that situation? It's going to be very interesting as well. We know that the New York Jets are also looking to move Zach Wilson. That's going to be interesting to see if that's able to get done as well in free agency. All right. Now we can say $5.4 million on the cap if we're able to move him. All right. But cutting him would absolutely kill us. That would be $11 million. That'd be $11 million in dead money. Okay, so we can't cut him. It's just going to be interesting to see where we actually send him and what team wants him, and if he even has any trade value. What do you get back for him? I mean, it's rough. So that situation is hanging over our heads as well. There's also talks about our possible free agent targets too. For me, you got to look at the New York Jets and say they've got to attack the offensive line position, right? Especially tackle. Right? Tyron Smith, a lot of Jets fans talking about him. I'm a little concerned. The man has played a total of 17 games in 2 seasons. He's been hurt. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries. Hasn't played a full season since 2015. You got to wonder, is that the guy you want to go with all the expectations that we have this year when we're coming off of guys with injury-plagued seasons like Dwayne Brown, right? A lot of people want to move on from Mekhi Becton because of that. They don't want him to come back and be a New York Jet because of his injury history and his struggles. That's another guy that the New York Jets could be looking at. Or would you be interested in bringing Mekhi Becton back? We'll be talking about that. I'm not saying that we should. I'm just asking the question, all right? Because there's a lot of Jets fans that do want him back. You also got Trent Brown out there. I think that's an interesting scenario. But for me, I like Mike Onwenu. And I don't know why a lot of Jets fans are not talking about him. I think he's a guy that can come in here, give us some tackle support there, and be a really solid part of this offensive line. In my mind, I'm thinking the New York Jets have to come out of free agency with at least one offensive lineman. At least one offensive lineman. If not 2. You have got to solve your guard issue, and you have to solve at least one of your tackle issues before the draft. Okay? But we'll be talking about that tonight as well. And also, for those of you that may not know, this is really my favorite part of the show tonight. Your boy Jamal Adams, he's been released. Listen, salutes and respect to Joe Douglas. He absolutely fleeced the Seattle Seahawks. Oh. Oh, man. You talk about getting worked over. We worked them over, okay? Look at all of the stuff that we got from them, from the picks, from ATV. I mean, you could just name, you can continue to go on. We worked those guys over in that trade, man. We worked them over with the capital and the picks and even the trade. We got Garrett Wilson. We got Elijah Vera Tucker. We got Eccles. We got Pinnock, Jonathan Marshall, all those guys. And we even got McDougald as well from that safety that came from Seattle too in the deal. And they got old Jamal Adams. And now he's gone because he went over there and he stunk it up like I told you guys he would. And Seattle's going to eat $20 million in dead cap because of it. We'll be discussing that tonight as well. Also, the Giants, they didn't tag Saquon. Interesting. The Panthers tagged Brian Burns. Hey, Mike Evans. Mike Evans re-signed with Tampa Bay. Ooh, I know a lot of Jets fans are mad about that. We'll be talking. And also the Broncos have let Russell Wilson know that he will be released. We also got a little combine talk tonight as well. Tylisi Fuaga. I'm just saying, I've been talking about this kid for a minute. He's been looking really good. All right, he looked really good at the combine, turned a lot of heads. Troy Fatanu as well. He turned a lot of heads too. His workouts and all that stuff looked really well. And let me tell you something, Xavier Worthy ran a 4.21 new combine record. Whoa. Boy, oh boy. We're going to the lines tonight. I got to talk to y'all, okay? 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in, okay? Keep in mind, when you call in, be patient. We will get to everyone. The lines are hot, but you will get your time to speak. Make sure that your phone lines are good to go. Make sure you have a good phone, okay? Make sure that that's your phone line solid, connected, and good. Make sure you unhook your wireless headsets because that makes it echo. Okay, I need to hear you. I need to be able to hear what you're saying because if I can't hear you, my audience can't hear you. What can we do? Okay, we can't do anything. Also, make sure, when you call in, I only got one rule. Don't call in here cursing because I get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than the Seahawks got rid of Jamal Adams. Oh! Was it too soon? Faster than Joe Douglas could fleece the Seahawks. Oh! Was it too soon? Faster than the Seahawks could regret ever doing that deal with the New York Jets. Oh! It's never too soon to bash Jamal Adams. I remember when he was dancing. He was dancing with the cigar in his mouth. Y'all remember that? He was dancing. Oh, I'm so happy I'm so happy. I love you. I love everybody. I don't hate anybody. Man, shut up. Shut up. Now you back on these social media streets letting everybody know you would be willing to come back to the New York Jets. Begging for fans to, hey, man, I want to end the playoff drought. I'm sure you do, brother. I'm sure you do. Because you won't be ending anything as a Seattle Seahawk because you're no longer there. All right. We're going to be discussing it, man. We got a lot to talk about. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in, and I'm taking all callers. First caller I'm going to is Ted. Ted, I'm coming directly to you. Everyone be patient. We'll get to everybody, okay? We will get to everybody. For those of you that do not know Ted, he's a savage, a straight savage. Savage!
What's up, Joe?
What's going on, Ted? Listen, we got to talk tonight, okay? Lines are hot. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. We got CJ Uzomah released. What are your thoughts about this, man?
Hey, Joe. It's been a few. Good to talk to you again. I would say that CJ can keep his green hair for another week or two to get through the St. Patrick's Day parade, to keep the spirit of that before he dyes his hair back to a regular color. So that was basically just a bad sign, another bad sign, actually. Mm-hmm. And part of the issue, and I think he's a decent tight end, mm-hmm. but with Zach Wilson, that's the surest way to bring your stats down is to play with that guy.
Yeah.
Plus, like you said earlier, there's so many tight ends in the market mm-hmm. that are just more talented at this point.
Yeah.
Plus, we have the young ones there. And we have a capable one with Conklin.
Yeah. Now, you kind of led into one of the questions I was going to ask you. When you look at the tight end position now, right? You got Conklin, you got Rucker, you got Zach K, and kind of in the background there. Do you think the New York Jets will target one of these tight ends that could be out there in free agency? We're talking Hunter Henry out there, Jonnu Smith, Gerald Everett. Is that something that you think that they need to focus on, with some of their cash, or are you looking to address other spots with that money?
Well, obviously we have to get the offensive line shored up ASAP without any, that's the first thing. I'm looking at, like a lot of teams are looking at Michael Onwenu from the Patriots.
Yes.
That's kind of the guy I really would like to target. He's going to be, unfortunately, he's probably going to be a high-end mm-hmm. guy, but he's young. I mean, he's got upside. And like you said, the Tyron Smith show, that's a risky I mean, it's the kind of thing we may have to do because we're kind of in a 2-year window,
Mm-hmm.
and it's risky, but we may have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to shore this thing up quick. Maybe, you know, when Brady won those Super Bowls, you can look at the myriad of players they added. You know, look, Blunt and Sue and Dominic Sue. They added a bunch of players to Antonio Brown. They added all these players to just make a run. We may be doing that, Joe. That's the philosophy I would take.
Okay.
You know?
So my question for you is
So that's
this.
where I throw my cash. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my question, so I hear you. You're looking for Michael Winu, right? Now, there's a lot of Jets fans that are looking at the situation and they're saying, hey, Becton is a guy that they would like to have brought back. Is that a guy on your mind that you think the New York Jets should give a look to? Maybe a 1-year prove-it deal, maybe a 2-year deal, something like that. Would you be interested in bringing Becton back into the fold?
Joe, only if he doesn't have a market. If he doesn't have a market anywhere, I think about a depth signing for 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But if he's going to go somewhere else and get, 3 years and whatever, $30 million, whatever he's going to get, I don't know, maybe more. I don't know what his value is really.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would just have to let him go, just like Bryce Huff. Maybe you'd have to let him go. If somebody blows out the window and gives him 20, there's no way we're going to match that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to have to let him go.
So when you look at Bryce Huff and you're just saying let him go, I'm a little worried about that, man, especially when we're talking about where we're trying to go next season, right, Ted? Listen, if we're talking about going in and taking on these top teams, you need an elite pass rush. Now, you said $20 million. Is that the furthest that you're willing to go? Is that it? Is that the cutoff for you? Would you be willing to go maybe $21 million just to match that, to make sure that you get your top pass rusher back into the building? I mean, he led the team in sacks.
I wouldn't, Joe.
Okay.
I don't think you could do that in this situation. I really think, maybe if you can get 6 or 7 sacks from McDonald and the way we used our defensive pass rushers, maybe we add somebody in free agency to make up the difference. We just can't. I mean, if you want to pay him $14, $15 million, I would say you really can think about it. But 20 is just too steep of a price. The way our team is built, Joe. I mean, I know they're premium players, but we have a lot of other needs, and I'd rather personally try to outscore some of these teams than try to shut them down. We may be in a lot of shootouts with some of these teams. You think we're going to shut down Tua and Josh Allen every game and Patrick Mahomes? I mean, you have to be realistic. You may be able to slow them, but there's no way we're going to shut these teams down.
Okay. Now, with that said, how much of a mistake do you think it is for the Jets not to tag him and try to trade him to at least get some capital back then?
Well, if you tag him for 20, I think, don't the other teams have a right to match, and then you would kind of price yourself out of the market?
No.
So I think if you let him go out and see what the market is, no?
Yeah, no. If you franchise tag him, I think it would have been, it's in the 20s. Right. I think it's like 21 something million dollars. If you franchise tag him, then you still control him and you can move him to whatever team, that is offering you. So my thought process is going into the situation, I thought if the New York Jets were not going to meet the demands, as far as cash wise, why not tag the guy and then trade him to a team that's going to give you at least a second rounder or something, a second round, a third round pick, something, so that you get some capital back and you don't just allow your best pass rusher to walk into free agency and walk away from you for free. That's the last thing that I wanted to see. But here we are, March 5th, right? And it's there. They haven't tagged him. He's going to walk into free agency. And if you cannot re-sign this guy, you're going to be in a tough position.
Yeah, I mean, I just think realistically, we just let him test the market. They probably talked about it during the combine where, with other GMs of what his value is, and everyone has a number for him. And if he wants to go see what other teams will offer him, we'll see if he comes back. Hey, Joe, can I address something about some of these offensive linemen? Are you going to go there at all?
Quickly, go ahead. I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, real quick. I was looking at Amarius Mims from Georgia.
Yes.
I mean, I hate to say he's like a Becton clone, but I was watching tape on him, and I watched a lot of SEC play, and I mean, his combine was really good for a big man. I mean, that guy could run, and he's the kind of lockdown kind of guy we may want. There's so many, Joe, the depth in the offensive line is scary.
Yeah.
There's so many good, and I like the guy Fatua. I think it's Fatua for Washington. Please slide down. It's a tough one, Joe. It's a real interesting thing with the draft to see where everyone says, oh, we're going to draft a lineman, but maybe we trade down a little and get a second. I would love to trade down, Joe, get a second rounder, and then get have some other thing we can get. And if we do get a lineman in the first round, we can maybe get a second round receiver or trade back into the first round. Yeah,
I mean, listen, I look at it like this. I know people are talking about trading down. For me, I look at it. You're sitting at 10. If Fuaga's there, I'm not moving. I'm going to take him, and I'm going to move on. I've talked about Mims as well. If they do trade down, Mims could absolutely be a target, and we'll see what happens going forward. But it's going to be very tough for the Jets. It's going to be very tough because after that, like you said, we don't have that second-round pick. That third-round pick, I'm thinking you might have to go offensive line again to get yourself – maybe a depth guard or a guy that's going to eventually start if you don't shore up your guard position. But if that is shored up and everything's going away, I could see the Jets taking a wide receiver in that third round, to help come in and bolster that position. And I know a lot of people talking about the receiver position. We need to add something. Allen Lazard sucks, but maybe next year with Aaron Rodgers back into the fold, he steps up and turns around and looks like the Allen Lazard that was with the Green Bay Packers. Now, before I let you go, Ted, because my lines are hot, give me two position groups that you feel the New York Jets must have shored up in free agency before they go into the draft. And if you like to, give me two players.
Free agency, maybe Austin Eckler on a running back. I'd like to see maybe he's pretty durable. I mean, I'm saying durable, but he's pretty solid, catching and running as a veteran. Maybe we can get somebody like that. And then offensive linemen, it's hard to tell, Joe, if we're going to just sign a bunch of guys and then draft receivers, or it's a tough one, but receiver for another next to Garrett. So I guess it all depends. So I would say my second one would be up in the air depending on free agency.
Okay. All right, listen,
That'd
Ted,
be my answer.
I want to thank you for calling in. Phenomenal time talking to you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right, my friend?
Will do, Joe. My work schedule lightens up, just maybe like yours does. All right, Joe.
I know how it is. Salutes, my friend. We're going to keep getting to the lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Again, when you call in, please be patient. We will get to everybody, okay? We're going to be talking about the Jets all night long, okay? All night long, or at least for the next 2 hours before Blog Talk starts hating. All right? We haven't even talked about guys that I think the New York Jets should re-sign from our team. Jordan Whitehead, Greg Zuerlein, Morstead. Those are other names that I think New York Jets fans need to start thinking about and talking about here. Those are guys that I think you have to re-sign, especially Zuerlein and Morstead, right? And everybody's talking about Whitehead, like letting him go is like nothing. Oh, no, it does mean something because he's the guy, that's on the back end there. You let him rock, you let him go out. Who are you bringing back? Who are you bringing into that safety position that's going to be fully ready to make sure that you're getting to that next level and compete for that Super Bowl? Whitehead's been there, and he played all right for us last year. Had a big game against the Bills. He had 3 picks. Like, that means something. All right, we're getting back to the lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button on the stream. All right. And share my stream, my content across your social media with your friends and your family. All right. I love connecting with people in that way. Next caller I'm going to get to, I'm going to Chris. Chris, I'm coming directly to you. Tom's River will be coming to you in a second. Steve, hold on. New callers will be getting to you in a second. But I got to get to Chris. He's next up, okay? For those of you that do not know, this man, Chris, he is a savage. Yes, savage. Chris, I am sitting here talking, going back and forth. CJ Uzomah released. Give me your thoughts on it, man. What are your thoughts about him? You know, the Jets moving on from him, saving some capital, saving some cash to go into free agency. And what is your outlook on the Jets tight end position at this point?
I think it's was expected, and I think they'll go after somebody like the guy Cade, the guy from Cade Stover. I think in the fourth round at Ohio State. I think they have that like a fourth rounder, fifth rounder tight end. But listen, we never gave Kenny Boa a chance, so we don't know what he could do. So we got some good guys there. So let's just see what we got.
Okay.
You know.
No, yeah. Listen, I respect that. Now, as we continue to talk about this football team, right? Because again, we'll see what they do with the tight end position. Man, I'm looking at this offensive line, and I'm saying to myself, the Jets have to address this offensive line, right? As of right now, we have no answer at left tackle. We have no answer at right tackle. We got a guard position opening up. You know, we moved on from Laken Tomlinson, which he was trash, right? When you look into free agency, man,
right,
who would you like to see the New York Jets target to fill maybe one or two of those spots? Because I don't think they'll be able to sign 3 of the top offensive linemen that come in here and fill those. But if they can get 2 of them, I think that would work wonders for the Jets. Who are guys that you're looking at, offensive linemen that you feel the New York Jets should go after?
Well, who I feel they should go after, I think they should be all in for Joe Alt. You know, I think they should trade the 25 pick and move up and get Alt. But for free agency,
well, you know we're going to talk about that, Chris.
I'm looking at free agency.
You know we're going to talk about that. Go ahead. Go ahead. You tried to slide that in and then slide up out of there. But we're going to talk about that player. We're going to talk about that.
My boy, I got to look after my boy Donovan Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, goodness gracious.
That's the guy I want. You know, that's the guy I want. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy that's from Long Island Hempstead. That's our guy. You know what I'm saying? Union Dale, you know, everybody in Long Island, you know Donovan. That's the guy we want.
Hold on, Chris.
Not coming back.
Chris, over Mike Owenu. You want Donovan Smith over Mike Owenu. You want Donovan Smith over Trent Brown. Why? Listen, Donovan Smith.
Trent Brown is you're talking about maybe 2. So I think we could probably pull in, you know, Ewanu and we could pull in Donovan Smith. And maybe we could pull in, what's the guy's name from the Packers on a cheap contract, like a incentive-laden contract.
You talking about Bakhtiari?
Thing, but with a cheap contract, yeah.
Yeah, here's the deal. Here's the deal, and I'm gonna give you some pushback on this. Owenu, okay, I'll rock with that, right? I like him. But Donovan Smith, that guy holds 24/7. And he can get away with that in Kansas City with the Chiefs because they don't call it, okay? And we all know this. We played them and we also watched them. That offensive line holds all the time, both of the tackles, but especially Smith does. If he comes here, that's going to get called 24 hours a day. I don't want to have nothing to do with him. Bakhtiari, here's what blows my mind about Bakhtiari, right? Jets fans screaming about him and the relationship he has with Aaron Rodgers, and he knows this offense, and he's often injured. That guy has played, like, I think it was 13 games in, like, 3 years total. Bro, you guys bash Mekhi Becton from pillar to post, from the windows to the wall. I got to hear about Mekhi Becton. He sucks. He never plays. He's often injured. And you're bringing a guy in here that has had massive injuries that doesn't play and is often injured as well. When are we going to stop that? Can we please just get an offensive line or an offensive lineman that is going to be consistently out there on the field? I don't want to bring that guy into this building. Give me your thoughts.
Don't you agree? Every year we do these free agent stuff, right? Mm-hmm. This guy comes here. This guy comes here. It's going to be hard for Tyron Smith to leave the Cowboys, man.
Well, it's already said. It's already been said that he's not going back there. Yeah. That it's extremely unlikely that time is over. And even Tyron Smith, he's a good player, man. 17 games total in the last 2 seasons. Yeah. Hasn't been fully healthy since 2015. I like him. I think he's a solid guy, and he's up in age too. But again, I feel like the outlook, right? I'm a big picture guy. If we're trying to win, why do I want to go backwards and get guys that have got these long injury histories when we suffered from that already? with Dwayne Brown.
I agree.
Right? Long injury history.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch that, especially, again, when we finally have the crown jewel that is Aaron Rodgers. Why do I want to play with that?
Right.
He's the thing that's going to get us to the Super Bowl. We know our defense is solid, right? If we get guys back, and I'm going to talk to you about a guy that I want to see back in a second, right? We know our defense can carry the load.
Mm-hmm.
I just need my offense to be decent. It ain't even got to be top 5. I just need you to be decent. I need you to just score me some points, and we will win games and get to the playoffs. That's all I need you to do.
Right.
So with that, I need you, okay, to stand up and be able to block. And even when you're talking about Joe Alt, I love Joe Alt. I think he's phenomenal. I just do not think that the Jets have the capital to move up and be able to grab him. I don't. I really don't.
So let me ask you this. And they did say in the Jets report that they are considering trading up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if the Patriots came to you and said, "Listen, we're building our team. We want to trade back. Give us your number 72. Give us and your first round this year and next year, and you could jump up to number 3. You would have Alt or Marvin Harrison." Now Now I know you're turning pink, but listen, hear me out for a minute. Hear me out. I know you hear me out, and all you draft people are going crazy right now because we do this every year. But this is what I'm saying. This is Dab Guru. But hear what I'm saying. Is Marvin Harrison Jr. We're gonna pay somebody $19 million in a free agency, maybe a Calvin Ridley $20 million. Or Malik Neighbors.
A season?
Which is definitely
that is not happening. $20 million a season? That's not happening.
I'm saying we're paying. We're technically trying to pay a wide receiver. Get a number 2 to Garrett Wilson. Okay.
Okay.
So if we get a number 2 to Garrett Wilson, like one of these 2 guys, we don't have to go out and spend all that money on it. We can focus our free agent dollars on bringing back out that and improving the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that one of these needs have to be taken care of during the draft. We need a number 2 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
We need a number thing. And we're in the position right now where we're all in. And like I said, I understand what people are saying, in terms of the draft cap. We need this, we need this, we need this. I'm saying right now we have 2 guys that are currently drafted from the Jets. We have AVT and we have
Joe Tippmann.
The guy from Wisconsin.
Joe Tippmann.
Yeah, we have 2 guys in here. The Jets built it on the last all big offensive line. We had 2 guys. We had 2 homegrown guys. We had Rickershaw, and the rest of them was filled with free agent guys. So and Joe and the GM's defense, he spent so much draft capital in the last 5 years. Of the top 100 players in the draft, Max Mitchell was a top 100 player. There was another guy that was a top 100 player. We spent a lot of draft choices on offensive linemen that didn't work out. So we got 2 that's good now. We should fill the rest of them with free agency. There's always cuts. There's always people getting things. We need to find these people and put them on the offensive line. And then that's maybe including getting another center, moving what's his name over to Joe Tippmann over the guard.
Mm-hmm.
But Tippmann over the guard. But I'm just saying is that I'd rather have the money to bring back Bryce Huff, bring back the offense, and having them. And then you know what? I have 2. At least I know, Joe, that I have a number 1 and a number 2 wide receiver, or I have a solid offensive lineman that I can that is going to be number 1. He reminds me of the guy from Indianapolis that's consistently great.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. He's the guard.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Joe Tippmann reminds me of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he reminds me of him. So if you stick him on the line, he's going to be great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, solve the problem. And like I said, is it worth the 10th pick and the Jets are going to have at least win 10 games? Because with Stucky Zach Wilson and no quarterback, we won 7.
Mm-hmm.
We can actually add 3 more wins to that season. Is the 21st pick in the draft next year, 21st, the 22nd pick, and it better get a bona fide star.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to guess, you don't have to this thing. The 21st pick in the draft and the 10th is worth Marvin Harrison Jr. or Joe Alt. I think it is.
Well, listen, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I do think that Joe Douglas is going to get. I've gone on record saying this, and I'm going to continue to say it. I think that this upcoming draft, with all of the heat that is on the New York Jets front office, mainly Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, I do think that we'll see Joe Douglas make moves that he normally wouldn't make. I think he absolutely is going to grab draft capital from future drafts to moves up, especially with the New York Jets not having a second round pick in this upcoming draft. I think he's going to try to target to get back into at least the bottom of the first, if not back into the second. I don't know if they'll give up that capital for Joe Alt, because there's so much of a need along our offensive line, right? Especially right now, you got 3 spots open. We have guys that need, to come back. We'll see if Huff is brought back into the building. I think that is vital for him to be re-signed. I think it's vital for Whitehead, Zerline, and Morstead as well to be re-signed. That's a lot of cash and capital. We'll see if the Jets are able to at least get one tackle. Owenu is the guy that I want to see, but we'll see if they're at least able to grab one tackle in free agency to come in here. But that'll leave you with a guard spot open, whether it be right guard, left guard, depending on wherever you want to put, wherever you want to put AVT. They're going to have to address those. So I think in the draft, you could either, like you said, we could end up having a guard spot and a tackle spot open. And can you really give that capital away for Alt and then have a big hole at guard? Can you do that? I don't think you can. And again, I think that Alt is phenomenal, but I don't think that you have to move up in this draft because there are so many tackles in this draft. There's so many guys here that can come in here and really get it done for the New York Jets, really be good. Olu is a guy that a lot of people are not talking about. Fasanu, I think he's really good. I think he's a guy, even if we're there at 10, if he's there at 10, which there's a possibility he's a guy we could put at right tackle off the bat, right tackle or left tackle. There's a lot of talk about that he's a left tackle. He's your plug and play left tackle. I think Fuaga, again, is a guy you immediately could put on your right tackle spot. So there's so many different combinations, and I get it. I think that Joe Alt is phenomenal as well. I watched that. I'm not going to talk about that school because I'm a SC guy, okay? Fight on, all right? But he's a darn good player, and I get it. But I think don't you get it started, Chris. Don't you get it started. You know how I feel about my Trojans, all right? Listen, don't you do it, all right? Don't you do it. But, look, I get it. He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. But I just traded all that capital. And, again, we're just talking about, the spots there. Look at the holes that you're going to need. A wide receiver. We'll see. I think they're going to have to get that later on in the draft as well. And also, as well, as a lot of talk about just right tackle, left tackle, and guard. I'm going to put this out there. AVT has not been healthy in 2 years. And we all know that. And it's been big injuries. He's been on IR. You might have to start thinking about drafting a guy, in maybe that second, third round that can come in and give you some guard, spots, give you some guard protection in case he goes down. You might have to start thinking about that. I'm being completely honest with you, at this point. So, because the last thing you want to do is end up in a situation like you did last year where your offensive line looks a complete mess, where our entire last season was a masterclass in how if your offensive line is not functional, your offense will not be functional. Okay? I mean, that's what we saw last season. Now, as we continue to talk about this team, Chris, my final question before I let you go, man, give me two free agents that you feel the Jets must target in this free agency. Two guys that you hold highest above the rest of them that you feel like, hey, the Jets have to come out of free agency with these two guys if we're going to continue to move forward.
The kicker and the punter. I think the re-signing the kicker and the punter, our special teams.
Okay.
We got to bring those guys back.
Okay. More Stan Zerline. Okay. Listen, Chris, it was a phenomenal call from you. I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend?
All right, Joe. All
right, you have yourself a good one, man. Listen.
Here we go.
Listen.
Here we go.
He's talking that talk. I respect Chris. I do. And I understand. He's talking about being all in, and I get it. He wants to go all in. He wants to trade up. He wants to give away big capital, and I hear you. But it's going to be rough, man. It is going to be rough because the Jets, They have a lot of needs that they have to fill. So we'll keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Next, we're going to Mike. Mike from Toms River, we're coming to you. Steve, you'll be next. New callers, hold on. Okay, we'll get to you in a second. But we got to talk to Mike from Toms River because he's going to let us know what's up, and he's going to let us know how he feels about this situation. For those of you that do not know Mike, he's a savage. Savage! Mike salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, Mike. Listen, we got CJ Uzomah. He's being released, man. A lot of people, there are some Jets fans I've talked to that were upset about the situation. Me, myself, I said, hey, it is what it is, right? I'm not really fazed by it. What are your thoughts on his release, and what is your outlook on the New York Jets offensive line position? Tight end position.
Well, he had 8 catches the whole year. Good. He should have been gone last year. I think we're set. We're set at that. Yabana, what is his name? I forget his name. I'm sorry.
CJ Uzomah.
He's a third string. Yeah. I think he'll be good enough. He's not good at blocking, but he's good on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
It could open up Bowers. It could.
Boy, you love Brock Bowers.
I do.
Listen, I like Brock Bowers too. I'm not a guy that is gonna sit up here and cap to you. Yes, I like Brock Bowers. I think he's a great perspective. I think prospect. I think he could come into the league and be a solid tight end. But here's my thing about Brock Bowers, and I had Jets fans come at me as well, and I go back and forth with everybody on social media. You can see that. I definitely go back and forth with all Jets fans. And immediately people were saying, Joe, we got a hole there. We got to address it. And I'm saying, listen, if we were to bring Bowers into this building, he would be useless within the offense because our offensive line would still be struggling. All right. We all know that. The New York Jets, in my mind, as of right now, the Jets will be drafting an offensive lineman. And that's okay because this is a perfect time to do this. It's like free agency and the draft, honestly, mostly the draft, though, because it's the cheapest. The draft fell and played out exactly how we needed it to. Full of tackles, full of guys that from the interior, full of offensive line help for a team that is in offensive line hell. And we all know that, right? It's a mess up front in front of Aaron Rodgers, and we got to solve it. Now, we saw when the New York Jets offensive line could not get things together, Garrett Wilson should have had 1,500 yards easy this year. He's wide open most of the games. But our quarterbacks can't find him because they're running for their lives. Breece Hall should have had well over 1,000 yards rushing. Well over 1,000 yards. Easy peasy, right? But he can't do that because when our quarterbacks are handing the ball, there's already somebody in his face. So when you look at our two biggest offensive weapons struggling because our offensive line can't block, heck, there's people talking about how that affected Zach Wilson and all this other. I'm not here to argue about that, but we saw it, right? Look at what bad offensive line play did to it. It literally ruined our season. What was it, like 3-4 plays into the season? Aaron Rodgers, Achilles explodes live on TV in front of everybody on Monday night, which effectively ended everything that we were hoping, would happen with the New York Jets last year. So when I look at this situation, I'm saying to myself, I understand that Bowers is people call him a great talent. I know generational is always thrown around in drafts, and I get that. But we can't – that's a luxury pick for us. We cannot do that. We can't do it. You must grab an offensive lineman if you can. So I get the Bowers talk, and I hear you. But I can't do it, man. I can't do it there, especially with the needs that we're going to have. Now, as we continue to talk about this team, Bryce Huff, not franchise tag, Mike. He's looking like he's going to walk into free agency, man. What are your thoughts about this situation, bro? Like, are you concerned that Bryce Huff is not going to be brought back into the building, or are you okay with him walking away?
I think they'll sign him. I think they'll get him for like $17 million a year.
Okay,
I think so.
Okay.
And
Okay.
let me backtrack a little bit.
Go ahead.
Remember when the last game of the year, and Bryce was going for 1,000 yards, and the Jets coaching staff, they messed it up, and they gave him 1,000 yards, but they were actually wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was
You
one of
remember
the
that?
things too. Yeah, they thought they were thinking, there was a report that they thought that he had it, but he didn't. Yeah, that was
Incredible.
yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, but he should have had the way that Brees was looking this year, which was amazing, right? We were all wondering how he was going to come back off of that injury, and he looked like nothing happened to him. I keep telling people that man is not a human being; he's an alien. Like, it's clear as day. This guy comes back. He was already running like that in the offseason. He was getting ready to go. They were trying to put him on a pitch count. He said, "Man, please, okay, man, please." He made Dalvin Cook look like we should have never even touched him. Yeah, he came out of the box looking crazy, and man, I'm so happy to have him, but we have to get guys up front that are going to be able to block. Now, my next question for you, because you were talking about this offense, right? Zach Wilson's still here, man. We know that they're going to try to deal him. Realistically, what do you think we can give for Zach Wilson at this point, man? What type of capital, if you were the Jets general manager, what's the least that you would take to move on from him? And is there a team that you could see where we actually could send him?
I would trade him for a bag of footballs or a 7th round pick. Anybody who made an offer, get rid of him.
Yeah. It's going to be rough, man. It's going to be rough to see. I know they're trying to move him. It's going to be very interesting to see where they're going to send him, because I don't know. I don't know if any other team is going to want to deal with trying to.
Somebody will take.
Yeah.
You could sell him for a 7th round pick and get rid of his salary cap.
I mean, it's a reclamation project, and even when you talk about his cap number, I think that's something that's really gonna hit the New York Jets as well. 973, I'll be coming to you soon, man. You're gonna have to. A team is gonna have to take on. I think it was $5.4 million. They're gonna have to take that on.
That's chump.
Yeah, well, that's chump change when you talk about backup quarterback. There's other guys that are going to be out there as well, right? We talked about those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tyrod Taylor is going to be available. There's a couple. Gardner Minshew, Ryan Tannehill is going to be available. We know the New York Jets are going to be looking at backup quarterback position as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know if a team's going to be willing to take on that $5.4 million, because they could look and say, hey, we could take that and attack one of these guys that we know are going to be able to come in and back up and be better than him. And that leads me to my next question for you, Mike. We know the Jets are in the market for a backup quarterback, a veteran guy. Who is your choice of veteran quarterback? Like, is there a veteran backup quarterback that you're looking for the Jets to target and bring into the building?
I like Kobe Brissett.
Okay, yes. I really like him as well. Tell us why do you want him?
He's experienced. Like when he played against the Jets, he almost beat us.
Mm-hmm.
He's mobile. He's smart. He knows defenses. Dak doesn't even know what a Mike the linebacker is. I never heard him call that out one time.
Yeah.
I think that would be the perfect backup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, Mike, that's phenomenal. Now, before I let you go, Mike, I'm petty, Mike. You know that, right? I like to let it be known. I'm gonna let you have it. If you wrong me, I'm not a guy that forgets. I forgive, but I don't forget. Now that boy, that boy Jamal Adams has been released. He's a free agent. We remember all the parties and dancing he was having getting on out of here. And now it's looking like he's going to be dancing in free agency because he's not on a team anymore. So give me your thoughts about the New York Jets fleecing him, and how happy are you that Joe Douglas was able to work the Seahawks over and get rid of him? This is my final question for you.
That was a great trade. I mean, oh, my God. He was such a diva.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a team player. I mean, he can go suck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if any team's gonna pick him up.
Yeah,
because he can't cover.
Mm-mm.
The only thing he was good at is alternative linebacker on a
Mhm.
blitz,
Mhm.
but he hasn't got it back in what 3 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah.
Hey, you be a diva. It's karma.
Yeah.
Karma.
No, listen, you're talking that talk. Listen, Mike, I gotta slide off. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend.
All right, Joe. How's it going?
All right, you have a good one, man. Yeah. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers, okay? Be patient. The lines are hot. We're getting to everyone. Listen, salutes to all of the savages in the chat, okay? Bree, I see you in the building. Bree fan, I see you. All right, Savage. He says yes to Brissett, okay? Listen, I like Jacoby Brissett as well. I think that would be a great addition. I will tell you this, Ryan Tannehill, the Jets have been hot on Ryan Tannehill for a minute, man. They've been hot on him for a minute, okay? I remember that there was a point in time before Aaron Rodgers, everything, worked out and it was official. There was talks about the New York Jets and Ryan Tannehill linking up, and he was supposed to come into the facility as well, and possibly a guy that, was going to be our backup and play that backup role. So and there was at some point, there was rumors about the Jets were going after him as a starter. Those were rumors. Right? This was before we made sure to lock that deal in and we were able to get Aaron Rodgers to the building. You guys can go look that up. So Ryan Tannehill, I think, is going to be high on the list as well. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Jets do there at backup quarterback. And they need to bring somebody in just in case. We learned our lesson, okay? I'm sure they learned their lesson this last season. Salutes to Jay as well in the chat. Jay says, it's time we spend the money. No reason we can't trade for Cam Robinson and sign 2 guards in free agency. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Zeitler is a guy I like in free agency as well. Ezra Cleveland, we'll see if he is into the building. Robert Hunt as well, the Dolphins. That's a guy that could be out there too. There's a lot of talk. Kevin Dotson with the Rams. There's a lot of discussion surrounding the guards that's going to be out there. But those guys are going to get paid in free agency too. We're talking, I've heard $16 million is going to be like the floor for a lot of these guys. The New York Jets at this point have $25 million in cap. We'll see. There's a lot of moves that they can make. We all know that, okay? And again, this is a live show, so maybe there's moves being made right now that I have not talked about, but this is live, okay? And we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. I'm telling you, a long way is making sure that C.J. Mosley and John Franklin Myers get those contracts restructured. And just keep in mind, man, that's sliding that credit card because all you're doing is pushing the money, back a couple years. You're just creating more. They're probably going to put more void years on the end of those deals. So salutes to all the savages in the chat. If you have a question, if you got something to say, put that in the chat as well. I come to y'all, okay? But keep in mind, I'm one man, all right? We take calls. We talk to the people, all the savages in the chat. We talk Jets here, okay? And even if you're not a Jets fan, as we know, we do have people that are not Jets fans that call in and talk about football and talk about the Jets with us, all right? And I'm open to that discussion as well, okay? We're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in next. I'm going to Brick City, y'all. I'm going to Brick City. Steve will be coming to you next. But we got to talk to Brick City, man, all right? Brick City's in the building. For those of you that do not know, Brick City, he's a savage. Savage! Brick City salutes and respect to you, my friend. Listen. We haven't talked in a minute, all right? But it's good to speak with you.
Yeah, long time.
Yes, listen. I want to start off with Bryce Huff, okay? March 5th is here. No franchise tag applied to the man. He's going into free agency. I'm concerned that the New York Jets won't be able to re-sign him. What are your thoughts about the situation?
We need to do everything to get that man, keep that man in the building. Undrafted free agent, homegrown talent. You got to keep those guys in. I understand he wants to be an all-down lineman in this league. I think he can do that, but due to the way we rotate in and out of guys, I don't think that'll be able to happen. The real question is, if we do lose him in free agency, who is out there on the free agent market that can be as productive as Huff? I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's I'm sure that they'll look for a free agent, maybe a low cost free agent pass rusher to bring into the building. But I think that the bigger answer or the bigger question is, well, who steps up, on the roster once Huff is out
Yeah,
of the door and his impact is out of there, right? Um, is
right.
Will McDonald ready to be a guy that's going to give you double digit sacks next season? Year two, after being deactivated a bunch of games this year and being played sparingly this season. I think he only had like 3 sacks this season. Is he a guy that can go from 3 sacks to 13, maybe 14 sacks next season? Because, I mean, when you look at the production of Huff, you're missing, the 10 sacks that he provides. Maybe I think he's going to get more than that next
Exactly.
season because of Aaron Rodgers' return. So I'm there with you, man. I want to see this guy brought back into the fold, but I'm concerned, brother. I'm concerned, and I think it's a massive mistake that they didn't at least franchise him so that if they can't meet, his demands for a deal, that at least they can trade him and get capital back instead of just letting him walk away for free. I mean, do you think that was a mistake as well by Joe Douglas?
Big mistake. Big mistake by Joe. We could have recouped a second round pick, or who knows, get up a late first round pick. But that's the big question with free agency. I mean, I like Huff. He got better every year. His quarterback pressure is very elite. It's rare to find guys like that. So I don't know if Joe Douglas is going to look in free agency. I don't see too many guys there. But what about the draft? What you think? Who you think in the draft we can get between the fifth, fourth, and 7 rounds we have? Who do you see in the draft that can somewhat bring that production? I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
But to answer your question about Will McDonald, I like McDonald. He showed some things this past season that I very much like. He probably will have to add some weight in the off season, similar to what Jermaine Johnson did. And can he be that productive? And I hope so. He's a first round pick. He better not be a bust. I don't think he is. I like his spin move. I like his way to get to the ball. He's just got to finish. I think Will McDonald will be fine, but losing Huff will definitely hurt our defense a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Now we're talking about guys. I want to stick with this defense with you, man, because there's some guys that are coming up that are going to be free agents, and I think the New York Jets should look to bring him back. A guy like Quentin Jefferson, a lot of people are not talking about him. We know he had that hip injury. He missed time. Would that be a guy that you would look to bring back, man?
Yeah, I definitely will bring him back. Another person, though, I don't know if you spoke about this, but he used to be a Jet. Foley
Fatukasi. Yeah.
Yes. I would love to have him back. He was a great Jet. We need more run stuffers. Our defense definitely when I think either Al Woods or Jefferson was down.
Yes.
Both were down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And teams was like, run up the gut on the Jets. Run up the gut. And that's what teams been doing.
Yeah.
So we definitely need some run stuffers in the defense. Yeah, we need a little safety here and there. I think we bring back Chuck Clark. I believe, but want to switch to the offensive side of the ball?
Wait, hold on. Because you were talking about that safety position, and it's great that you brought up Al Woods because a lot of people aren't talking about him as well. I know he tore his Achilles, depending on how he's looking and his recovery comeback. Al Woods might be a guy that we look to bring back as well because, like you said, especially once he went down, people were trying to test the Jets' defense by running up the gut. But you started talking about that safety position, and a guy that I feel a lot of people are not talking, or a guy that I feel a lot of people are just ready to move on from, Jordan Whitehead, and I'm a little confused why. I think especially when you look at the way that this defense performed, the solid play on the back end, what we're expecting, where we're expecting to go, we're trying to push to win a championship here. I would think that Jordan Whitehead would be a piece that you want to bring back into the fold, and a lot of Jets fans are ready to walk away from him. What are your thoughts about that situation? Do you think that he should be resigned? And also, a lot of Jets fans screamed about Ashton Davis, who I mean, he had a great season last season, but up until this last season, he really wasn't that good. But give me your thoughts on both of those players. Do you think we should try to re-sign them or bring those guys back?
I think Jordan Whitehead, I would like to bring him back, but will he sign a lesser deal, a team-friendly deal? I don't think so. Who knows? You never know, right? But um, I wouldn't bring him back due to his age and the type of injury he received. I wouldn't bring him back. That's why I mentioned Formicasi, bringing him back. He's a little younger. Probably he knows the system. He already got a payday. Probably can get him on a veteran minimum deal or something like that. I just would like Ashton Davis. I mean, yeah, I'll re-sign him. He gotten better every year. Is he the typical cover safety we need? No, but he's a good depth piece. He will get an interception or two here and there. He's okay in coverage. He's good in special teams. Given a chance, that boy will lay the wood, though. He will lay the wood.
If he hits,
I like Ashton Davis. I think he can come back.
Yeah, if he, I've seen that guy miss a lot of tackles in his time here. Like I said, last season he was decent. Last season he made some plays here and there, but up until last season, Ashton Davis was not like, bruh. He was very up and down. I remember coming into last season, a lot of people were wondering if he was actually going to get released, especially with Chuck Clark being brought into the building and Amos. A lot of people were thinking, hey, they're going to move on from Ashton Davis, but he played solidly, and I'll give him his
Amos
respect.
was weird. Amos was a weird situation this year. I don't know why he left the team. I just feel like, once not even Aaron Rodgers, like even in the offseason last year, the mysterious retirement of Corey Davis, that kind of hurt our offense a little bit tremendously. So we try to rely on Alan Lazard. I like Lazard, but he's not a number two. But he could be a number two with Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. Hopefully, praise the Lord, he's healthy. My biggest concern is the offensive line, man.
Listen.
Side of the ball.
Let's go there, because I'm looking at the offensive line and I'm saying to myself, I think the Jets almost have to come out of free agency with an answer at tackle, one of the tackle spots, and an answer at guard. Me personally, that's what I believe. Okay. Now, what are your thoughts? Are you along the same line of thinking? And if so, what free agents would you look? What free agents offensive line are you looking to see the Jets target and acquire?
Oh, that's easy, man. Connor Williams, I would like to see him as a Jet. The lineman from New England, I would love to steal one of their offensive linemen. I would love to steal one of their offensive linemen, man. Come on over. Come on.
Which one are you talking? Are you talking Trent Brown? Are you talking Uwenu? Where are we going? Which one of them do you want? Either
one. I'll be okay. With Brown, I think Brown's the left tackle, right?
I think so.
So
yeah.
I would love to have answer at left tackle, so we don't have to go in the draft and get screwed like we did last year. I would love if we could sign both. That'd be amazing. Let's leave AVT at guard, shall we? Leave him alone. Every time we moved him to tackle, he got hurt. Leave him alone where he at. Yeah. I don't know if he got to play tackle in the pinch or something like that. Yeah, sure, no problem. But just leave that man alone. If we can shore up left tackle in free agency. I say we move Pittman to guard. Probably try to sign Connor McGovern for a 1 year or 2 year
start
deal.
Again at center.
Bump up extra.
Oh.
I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers will rather have a veteran there than a young guy there.
Yeah, but he stinks,
especially
Brick.
If we're going all in.
He stinks, Brick. He stinks.
Yeah, I mean, but we can get much worse.
Yeah, I
think
yeah.
Connor McGovern is an average center. I think he's average.
I don't think
so.
I think he sucks. I look, and I get it. I don't mean to cut you off. I get it. I think he sucks. That could be a plan C, D, E, or F. I get it, but he sucks. I know people are talking about moving Tippmann to guard, moving him back to guard. Me personally, I like to leave Tippmann at center. Watching Tippmann at center was something different. Like he had his ups and downs, but I thought he played really well this season for the most part. And there were flashes where, and I don't want to compare him to a former Jet center, but there's a guy, his name starts with an M, and he's a man, okay, and he likes gold. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not comparing Tippmann to that guy.
Yeah, I understand.
All I'm saying is that there was some flashes where it was like, and even that man himself said, oh, Tippmann, he might be the next guy. That's all I'm going to say. So I want to leave the guy at center the same way that you're talking about ATV, you want to leave him at that guard position. And so my next question for you, when you talk about AVT, what guard position do you want to leave him at? Do you think we should move him back to left guard or leave him at right guard? Where are you with him?
Me personally, I would put him back at left guard. That would tremendously help our tackle out. I believe if let's say Lincoln Tomlinson wasn't there and Becton had AVT next to him, I think Becton wouldn't even be struggling the way he was struggling if our offensive line would have held up to some degree.
Yeah,
I truly am a firm believer of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my second thing is, offensive line definitely number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
Now, backup quarterback. I understand we still got Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the compensation is. I know it's going to be a day 3 pick. Give me a 6th or a 7th round pick. Get him out the building.
Where are you sending him?
I like Michael Penix.
I'm sorry, and I don't
Arizona or something.
You think Arizona would take him? I'm just asking everybody where they think he can go, because I cannot think. And I'm telling you,
why not?
I can't think of a team that would want him. I can't think of it. Even the people that are talking to me about him consistently, about moving him, and I get it. All right, I get it. I'm not saying don't train. I'm not saying no. I'm saying okay, cool. My question is, if we're moving on from him, most people that are talking to me about the Rams, and it's like, brother, Mike LaFleur is with the Rams. The reason why Mike LaFleur got fired here,
the Rams is
not fired, we let him go, or he went elsewhere, is what they said, but basically fired, is because of his relationship with Zach and because he couldn't get anything out of Zach. So why would he then go to the Rams where LaFleur is literally their offensive coordinator? It's like, where is he going?
I don't see him going to the Rams at all.
Yeah, where is he going? Wherever he goes, they have to know that he's a reclamation project. They have to know that they're going to have to literally pretty much rebuild him. Who's going to be willing to give you that capital on top of taking on, I think it's $5.4 million, unless the Jets, negotiate to eat more of that contract. I think it's going to be so tough to move him. At least that's my perspective. But continue on. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that one.
My thing with that is Arizona is one of those teams I picked. I think because of Cliff Kingsbury's offense.
Yeah.
It's not too much pressure on Zach.
Kingsbury not there anymore.
Utah's not that far away.
Mm-hmm.
Utah's not that far away, so I think it would be in Zach's best benefit. He goes to like Arizona or like a Minnesota, or even Denver. He's close to home.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton is an offensive guy. I think Zach can, for $5 million, they're gonna get rid of Russ anyways. I think Zach can be a good second stringer. Don't need to come in, just learn under the coach, Sean Payton, and I think Zach will be okay.
Okay. Listen,
he's a bust. He's out of here. Go.
Listen, I'm here. I'm here to listen to everybody. I just want to hear where exactly could we send him. I want to hear. I want somebody to just give me like you did. Just give me some teams that y'all think he's gonna go. It's gonna be very interesting to see. Now, my final question before I let you go, Brick City, you're bringing the heat, man. CJ Uzomah out of the door. What are your thoughts about the Jets moving on from him and releasing him, and what are your thoughts about our tight end position at this point?
I think it's a cap situation with Uzomah. I like Uzomah as a locker room guy. But on the field he hasn't produced.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives Jeremy Ruckert, who I like a lot. He can block, he can catch, give him more reps, see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
If we solidify the offensive line somewhat in free agency, I can see Brock Bowers coming by. Imagine, we haven't had a good tight end in a long time, man. Don't get me wrong, I like Brock Bowers. Don't get me wrong. A guy named Brock, you got to be a beast with a name like Brock, right? So, I like Brock Bowers. I like the receivers in the draft. But, if we can't, got to go offensive lineman.
Yeah. We'll see. I like I said, I think the New York Jets are definitely going to be looking for an O-lineman. I find it tough. I don't think we'll have enough money to bring in all the offensive line help that we need. And Bowers is a great idea, but I don't know if we're going to be able to take him. That's going to be a luxury at that point. But Before I let you go, Brick
Yeah,
City,
that's just the if.
give me 2 free agents that you want to see the New York Jets ensure that they walk out of free agency with.
Connor Williams. I think ain't that the guard from Miami?
Are you talking about Robert Hunt?
If I'm correct, Connor Williams. Not Robert. No,
Robert.
Connor Williams. Ain't he a free agent?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think he might be. He might be a guy, but I know who Connor Williams is. Yeah.
Okay, so if not him, then I'll take any tackle except Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers' best friend.
Bakhtiari.
No guys with injury. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want them.
Okay.
I don't want them. Too much injuries.
Mm-hmm.
We already spoke about the turf.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me any offensive lineman and a tier 2 receiver,
Mm-hmm.
like a Calvin Ridley or something, and we can be all right. We good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Good to
Listen,
go.
that's phenomenal. Oh, Jay in the chat. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I didn't know that. Hunt is the guard. Like I said, Robert Hunt is the guard. Connor Williams is the center. Yes, Connor Williams is absolutely the center. I believe they're confirming
Okay,
that.
I'll take one of those guys. If we can at least hurt our division
Mm-hmm.
in some way, then that's a win for us. And Joe Douglas.
Okay. All right. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, Brick City. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right.
Definitely, brother. Be easy.
Absolutely, man. Listen, we're talking that talk tonight. We're going to continue to get to the callers and the lines. They are hot right now. We're going to get to everybody. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Okay. I'm going to come to y'all. Trust. I said that. Salutes to Badger Den. He says the Jets might get a bag of Cheetos for Zach Wilson. Wow. Woof. It's going to be rough. GVH salutes to you in the chat. He says, Joe, the obvious with Tomlinson and Uzomah being cut, he said, Joe, the obvious with Tomlinson and Uzomah being cut, but putting on your GM hat, who would you cut next to save money? Hope we restructure Reed, Mosley, JFN, but we can't think of who else to cut. Right now, off the top of my brain, I don't know if there's anybody we really can cut to really save quite a bit of money unless we're going to be hurt, but the restructures are going to be huge. And you brought up 2 of the guys, Mosley and JFM. Man, those restructures are going to be vital, okay? Going to be vital because that Mosley, $21 million, and then John Franklin Myers, man, whoa. He is making quite a bit of cash, okay? He's counting, I think it was 16, it was like 16 something, $16.3 million next season. Goodness gracious, that's its cap number. It's wild. So I'm going to try to get those guys restructured. Now, if they don't restructure, especially a guy like John Franklin Myers, JFM, if he doesn't get restructured, maybe he's the guy that's on the chopping block. I don't know. But it's going to be very interesting to see. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. We'll keep coming to y'all. Okay, we'll keep coming to y'all. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. Next, we're going to Steve. Steve, we're coming directly to you. Val, you'll be next. New callers as well. Hold on, but we got to get to Steve. Salutes to all the savages in your chat. Keep putting your thoughts and your comments in the chat. I will come to you. Okay? We got to get to these callers. Now, again, we're going to this man, Steve, okay? For those of you that do not know Steve, he's a savage. I'm talking straight up savage. Savage! Salutes to you, Steve. We're talking that talk tonight, man. We got CJ Uzomah been released by the Jets. Give me your thoughts about him and his situation, and what is your outlook for the New York Jets tight end position?
Hello, Mr. Joe. What is going on? How are you doing, man? What's going on? Thank you again
I'm all right,
for having
man.
me on your show tonight.
Thank you for coming on. You know, I like talking Jets with you, man. I'm doing great. What are your thoughts, man?
Hey. Listen, before we get into this talk, man, did we make a steal with Dan Snyder and the Seahawks back in 2020. Man, did we make that deal? Man, did we make that deal?
Yeah.
Man, Jamal Adams, you've been flush.
Ooh, hold
He's
on.
been flush.
Hold on a second. You know, you're right, Steve. He is flushed, man. Yeah, that's good thinking, Steve. That's
Hey,
good
Joe,
thinking.
Joe, listen, that was something that I just had to say first before we get into this talk. Man, my God. I mean, listen, everybody all still thinks that Joe Douglas is a horrible general manager, that he sucks because he has a losing record. Let me tell you something. That Jamal Adams trade is going to go down as one of the greatest trades the New York Jets have ever done in Jets history.
That's a fact.
That is one of the greatest trades.
That's a fact, Steve.
Anyway.
That is a fact. And you know what's crazy?
I
called it constantly, and nobody wanted to listen to you, boy. People said I was stupid. People said I was an idiot at the time because I wanted Jamal Adams to be moved on from, and here we are, right? In a better situation. But go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so listen, like I said, I just had to get that. I just had to say that first to get that out of the way. So, how to get that out of the way. So now as we move forward, as we all know that starting Monday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, NFL free agency technically begins. And the Jets have some work they need to do. We need to work on the offensive line. We need to work on, getting another legitimate target for to team up with Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
We need to get a backup quarterback for Aaron Rodgers. And, of course, we'll need to fill in some other things, on the defensive side, like at the safety position.
Yep.
So the first thing I just wanted to address was the offensive line situation. Listen, if anybody remember what happened last year with the Jets, man, how many offensive line rotations did we had? We had about at least 10, maybe 11, 12, 13. It was way too many. The thing was now Lincoln Tomlinson this past week or last week was let go. CJ Uzomah was just recently let go today, which helped the Jets save some cap space. I mean, listen, obviously the offensive line is something we got to do in order to protect Aaron Rodgers going into 2024. And there are some players that I do like on the offensive line in this free agency class. Joe, you made a good point about the guy from New England. The guy from New England, he would be a nice acquisition.
Yeah.
Robert Hunt from Miami is another good acquisition. Listen, Miami's got a bad situation with their cap space, so I don't think Miami is going to be able to re-sign him. The guy Tyron Smith from Dallas. Anybody want to talk about how great of a player he is? He's expected to hit free agency. I understand he's a little bit up in age, but he's a phenomenal offensive lineman.
But hold on, Steve. Hold on, Steve. Hold on a second, Steve. Hold on a second, Steve. Now, and I hear what you're saying about Tyron. Tyron is a great offensive lineman. But how much does his injury history, right, concern you when you talk about him becoming a Jet? Because this is a guy that has, I think he's played like 17 games the last 2 seasons. I'm a little bit worried about that. Wouldn't you be dealing with him?
Yeah, I mean, the injury history is something that the injury something is a little bit of an issue, but at the same time, he is still a good player when he's very, very healthy. That is the only concern that I do have, but I wouldn't mind having him if he's very, very healthy.
Yeah, but that you got to worry about when is he going to be healthy, right? Because that's what people call in on a weekly basis to the show. Everybody knows I had shows, for a long time. I've had shows all throughout the season, and people called in and banged on Mekhi Becton left and right. Listen, there's players that are great when they're healthy, but if they're not healthy, then you're spending a boatload of cash. And then you got to wonder, if we're trying to challenge for Super Bowls here and he's not healthy, that's a big risk because that's your big piece that you gave a lot of money to in free agency. And now Aaron Rodgers is yet exposed again, right? Like that's something that you don't want, man. That's something that you don't want. So I get it. I'm a little concerned about people talking about bringing Tyron in here. You talked about his age, which is a thing too. But man, that injury history, I don't want to bring in a guy in here that's going to basically do what Dwayne Brown did, which is have an injury riddled time while he's here and leave us exposed along our offensive line. Now, you were talking about a lot of the things that were going on here. Continue on. You were talking about the offensive line. What are your thoughts about CJ Uzomah and all the things that we moved on from him with?
Listen, when CJ Uzomah first came to the Jets, I did like the signing at first. I mean, listen, he had a really good first season with us, but last season he wasn't that very good. I mean, Joe, you made a good point about I remember that game too, because I remember we spoke about this. The game against the Raiders this past year when we had the Sunday night game in Vegas, if you remember, it was on that first and goal play when Breece Hall got the ball off and we went to a touchdown, and we were all so happy. But then unfortunately, CJ Uzomah cost us a penalty in that situation.
Yep. Yeah, that was rough. And he had a drop against the Chargers. I literally can't get it out of my mind. I see it every time I close my eyes. The man was literally on the ground in the end zone by himself, and our quarterback hits him in the chest with the football, and he just bobbles it and drops it. So it's like, what in the world is going on around here? So the New York Jets have moved on from him.
I know.
Yeah, the Jets have moved on from him, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward. Now, as we continue to talk about this team and this offense, we've discussed the offensive line. We've discussed, this tight end position. What are your thoughts about the wide receiver position there, Steve? Is there a wide receiver you want to see the Jets target in free agency? There's a lot of people just clamoring about Calvin Ridley and the possibility of bringing him in. What are your thoughts about that?
Calvin Ridley would not be a bad idea to go after, but Joe, when I first heard that Mike Evans wasn't going to go on the franchise tag, I was like, oh my God, he's the receiver we need to go after.
Mm-hmm.
But then Tampa Bay struck a deal with him, the 2-year, $52 million deal, and I was like, damn. No, I was so upset because let me tell you something. I would have loved it if Mike Evans came to the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been a great acquisition for the Jets. Let me tell you that. But obviously,
stay awake, Steve.
Unfortunately, he's
stay awake for
unfortunately
us.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. Listen, I would have loved if he would have stayed if he would have came to the Jets.
Yeah.
But obviously, there were some tags that did happen with some receivers. Obviously, Michael Pittman Jr. got tagged by the Colts.
Yep.
I think Higgins got tagged by Cincinnati because they were both scheduled to be free agents. I know we spoke about Calvin Ridley too, going there, but the one thing though that we got, I got to look back at the receivers and see who is good, who's on the receiver market. But the one thing that we got to try to do is we got to get another partner for Garrett Wilson, because listen, Alan Lazard last year, who was supposed to be our number 2 receiver, I mean, he was terrible. He was so bad. But obviously, we'll see what happens with Lazard going in the future. But at the same time, we got to get another one. We got to get another target for Garrett, another target to team up with Garrett.
Yeah, there is. And
now,
I mean, there's some guys that are out there. I know that there's a lot of talk about Chark as well. DJ Chark is a guy that's going to be out there as well. There's a couple guys, Curtis Samuels. A lot of people clamoring about Odell Beckham Jr. He's going to be out there yet again. So maybe the Jets take their chance there. Tyler Boyd, we know T. Higgins ended up. I believe he got, he's back with the Bengals. So there's some guys that could be out there, man. Some guys that we could absolutely, bring into the building. Ridley is one of the top guys. So we'll see what's going on. I think, like you said, Pittman, I believe, got tagged too. So we'll see what happens going forward. But finally, Steve, my final question for you. You were talking. Go ahead and give me your last point there.
Well, last thing I just wanted to also mention, Joe. I really hope that we get Bryce Huff re-signed back, because obviously since we did not put him on the franchise tag. Let me tell you something. We got to get Bryce Huff back.
Yeah.
I am praying, because Joe Douglas did say that he did have a good interview with Bryce Huff's agent, but now unfortunately we're going to have to see. Hopefully, by Monday at 12 o'clock is when, hopefully, before then is when we can give him a contract extension. But we just got to pray and we got to see.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, listen, before I let you go, man, give me the free agent that you're looking to see the Jets target and get, during this upcoming free agency.
Oh, man.
Give me one guy.
Ooh.
One guy that you think they must come out of free agency with.
I think it's going to be the offensive lineman from New England.
Oh, okay, a Winu. Okay. Listen, I respect that, Steve. Look, it was great talking to you. Next time I have a show, Steve, I want to hear from you, all right, my friend? You gave us some fire takes tonight. Yeah. Yeah, listen, Steve calling in, talking that talk. Salutes and respect to Steve. Oh, he has a good night of sleep. Steve brought it to us tonight. Brought us some fire. He brought us some fire. Salutes and respect to Steve. He always calls in with great knowledge. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. We'll be coming to the lines next. Val, you're on the board. We're gonna hear from Val. I know he's got some takes to give us. Jay in the building. Salutes to Jay Savage in the chat. He says Zeitler is from the Ravens. A lot of good guards available. Yes, Zeitler is one of the guys that I think the New York Jets need to target. Okay. I think he definitely needs to be brought into this building. I like the idea of getting him in and bringing him in here and guard. That'll really shore up some things. Like I said, I think if the Jets get one tackle and a guard in free agency, that sets us up for success, right? Because then we've got our guard situation figured out, whether it be wherever you want to put ATV. I like to put him back at right, or I like to put him back at left. But if you bring in a guy that prefers to play that left guard position, okay, cool. You put ATV back at right? So you're leaving him at a guard spot. You get yourself a tackle, okay, whoever it may be. Again, I like Winu. You bring him into the building, and then you go into the draft set up for success. Because I doubt that Alt is going to be there at 10. I highly doubt that, right? I highly doubt that. But you got a bunch of other guys after that, okay? There's talks that, like I said, that Olu could be there at 10, Fuaga. That opens up the possibilities of maybe you trading down, right? Maybe you look, to trade down, grab some more capital if the package is attractive enough. I don't know. There's a lot of talk about that as well. I've been talking about Mims from Georgia. He's a good player. All right. There's some guys out there, man. And again, okay, Troy Fatanu, he's really turning some heads. All right, he's turning some heads, but we'll be talking about that. We're going to see what's going on with free agency, see how that pans out. And then we're really going to be running into the draft. But let me get back to these lines, okay? 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Next! I'm going to Val. I'm coming directly to Val. Listen, Val brings the shenanigans, okay? For those of you that do not know Val, he's a savage. Savage! Salutes, Val. It's always good to talk to you. For those of you that do not know, the circus is open, okay? It is happening, and it is in full force, because the shenanigans will begin. For those of you that do not know, Val is full of shenanigans, okay? Now, Val, salutes. It's always good to speak with you about this football team. Give me your thoughts, man. We're sitting here talking. CJ Uzomah released by the New York Jets. What are your thoughts about the Jets moving on from him? And how are you looking at our tight end position now?
Oh, man, listen, he was terrible this past offseason. Salute to everybody. on the chat. Salute to you, Joe, man. Thank you for having me.
Salutes.
And, hey, I just keep it real, man. Sometimes it's shenanigans and sometimes it's the real talk, man. But, hey, I will say, CJ, CJ, listen, he hasn't performed well last season at all. He really didn't make an impact over the last, season as well, too. The season before that, because, we was going through our little quarterback transitions from 4 different quarterbacks. This year was 3 different quarterbacks. Well, actually 4. So it's just the same thing over and over again. We never utilized the tight end position. And Conklin has basically been the only one that's been, consistent and that has been actually, doing good for this team. And we still didn't even see the backup tight end that's actually a good, blocker. I forgot his name.
Are you talking about Rucker? Are you talking about Jeremy Rucker?
Yes. Rucker, we didn't even utilize him like that too much either.
Yeah.
Until like a couple of games, like week 12 or something like that. So, it's the genius of Nathaniel Hackett not getting the tight ends involved. But, we got to see what goes forward and how they're going to move from this situation because, it's a whole different year this year. Last year was the top free agents destinations to come. Now this is a whole different situation.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if you I don't know if you have some headphones. You're just a little bit muffled. If you could come a little bit closer to your phone, I don't know what's going on. But
is it better?
Yeah, say it again.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So what's going on? Listen, I hear exactly what you're saying. It's this tight end position. I'm thinking Jeremy Rucker is definitely going to become more a part of the offense. Like you said, I think we should have utilized him better last season. And he showed some real steps. He looked like a guy when we actually did let him play. He looked like a guy that could really put some things together for us. And his blocking was really solid last season as well. And like you said, Tyler Conklin is also a guy that really did well for us last season. Very slick tight end, made some, quality catches. Definitely gave our
and he's fast.
Yeah, he can move. And he gave our quarterbacks a reliable set of hands. So I really like what he brought to the table as well. I don't think the Jets are dying at tight end whatsoever. I think we'll be okay.
Right, Uzomah was just dropping the ball left and right. I was like, what is Uzomah doing? Did the penalties, the Raiders game?
Yep.
I was that was the end of the straw for him. That Raiders game and the Patriots game too.
Yeah.
So it was bad, man, for him.
Yeah. Now, as we continue to talk about this team, man, the offensive line has really become a big question mark here, man. Especially with the position, the groups we got open, 2 tackle spots, a guard spot. A lot of people saying, hey, you might also need to look at bringing another guard because of AVT's injury history.
Thomas's.
Yeah, I mean, so when you look at the situation, man, what are some free agent offensive linemen you want to see the Jets, target and bring into the building, man?
I mean, listen, man, it's just like I feel like we should definitely target the guy from, I would say his name is Tyrod Smith. I understand his age and everything, but he's really good when it comes to pass block and run block as well too. Injury, of course, is a concern. I would look at the guy from the Patriots, Trent Brown as well too. Another good tackle that I would look at. Yes, I would definitely look at him. And I just feel like those 2, I think it's like the top 2 that we definitely need to reach out to and try to gamble and try to get. We possibly need to get both of them because I don't know what's going on with the Mekhi Becton situation. That has been really quiet as well too. I don't know if we're going to retain him as well.
Yeah.
So, but we need to get as much offensive line as possible. I don't want to hear nothing about drafting a tight end. I'm sorry. I want to hear us drafting these fatties, man. We need some tackle. We need some offensive line help. No tight ends. We don't even utilize our tight ends. We need to get an offensive line.
Listen, I listen to everybody. I take everybody's perspectives. I'm not here bashing people. I listen to everybody.
No bash to anybody. Everybody has a perspective, but it's just, man, listen, we need these past couple of seasons has been terrible. Against the Bills, when we go
when we go to Buffalo,
Mhm.
when we go to New England,
Mhm.
the offensive line has just been really bad, man. Like, so we need to focus on building that wall up so we could protect our quarterbacks and making sure that they don't go down with injury. And of course, Brees Hall as well too. But yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, no, listen, you're talking that talk. My only reservation though is when we're talking about bringing in a guy like Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith has such a injury history. I mean, he hasn't played a full season since 2015. Like the last two seasons, he only played 17 games. The last two seasons combined. I mean, I want to stay away from that. I really, really do. And the reason why is because I remember talking about how, hey, look, if Mekhi Becton is willing to come back here and just give us a 2-year or 1-year prove-it deal, I'd be open to that. And the first thing that people said was, Joe, the injury history, I don't want to do. And it's like, okay, cool. But then why are we talking about bringing in Tyron Smith? Why are we talking about bringing in Bakhtiari then? Bakhtiari been hurt. I can't even – he been hurt for so long and dealing with injuries, crazy, knee injuries and all kind of injuries that he's had. It's like, bruh, I'm not interested in that because we saw what that, costed us this past season. Dwayne Brown, like, goodness gracious, look at his injury history. We brought him into the building. He ended up on IR the first year. The second year, he goes out on IR early. This was after, Aaron Rodgers suffers an injury. Our offensive line is shuffling around. I want to shut all of that down. I want to bring in guys that are solid guys that have solid, injury histories that aren't going to, balk on us and end up on IR. I want guys that are going to be playing, man, so that we can get to that next level. You know what I'm saying, Val?
I 100% agree with you, and it doesn't help that we have an offensive lineman coach that is really bad as well too. But I heard that he's bad in practice, that gets people injured. So talk about that as well too. I don't understand what's going on with the organization so far, man.
Man, listen, I mean, we could talk about
Aaron Rodgers,
man, we could look. I'm hoping that Aaron Rodgers can solve all these issues, but there's, according to reports, again swirling. There's coaches. There was talks. Ulbrich was interested in going to the Niners, but he knew that the Jets were going to shut that down, and all these. It's like it's getting wild. We've already had these issues.
Super familiar.
Huh?
Who's Ulbrich again? That sounds
our
super
defensive
familiar.
coordinator. Our defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, according to reports.
No, he's not going nowhere.
Yeah, according to reports, we know that the Niners have an opening, and there was talks that the Niners were interested. There was mutual interest between them, and that was going to get shut down, of course. But just we're seeing a lot of coaches, from this New York Jets staff go other places, and it's crazy. So as we continue to
he's the
talk
only one I feel like should be safe. Sorry.
Yeah, we continue to talk about this team and everything we got going on, man. Bryce Huff, not franchise tagged. It's the 5th. He's not. The Jets didn't tag him. It's looking like he's walking into free agency. I'm concerned that he's not going to be a Jet anymore. What are your thoughts on the situation? And do you think it was a massive mistake by Joe Douglas to not franchise this guy so that at least you could trade him to, a team and get some capital back for him?
This is what I'm saying, man. Joe Douglas, it just seems like they're not motivated. They're just gonna let him walk and stuff like that. That's what it just seemed like. And it just from what he was saying as well too, they didn't reach out to him or discuss their situation. Joe Douglas definitely came out earlier and said that he's gonna address it probably in a couple of days. There has been no question about that, no answers, no communication. So it's just like I guess they're gonna just move on. They got Will McDonald, and they're gonna see if he's gonna take that next step. He's gonna be training with Jermaine Johnson. I know I said that like a couple of weeks now, but so I guess they're just betting on that because they see that they have to really address this offensive line before anything because his offense has been terrible and the wide receiver position is well too. So they feel like money needs to go somewhere else, and they're just hoping that Will McDonald takes that second step. He's a first round pick. They picked him high, so they're expecting him to actually pursue and take that leap like Jermaine Johnson did. So that's what I'm guessing. And it sucks because I totally agree with your analysis when it comes to getting Bryce Huff. Because listen, catching these mobile quarterbacks is no joke.
Bruh.
Especially if you want to get deep in the playoffs, you have to make sure you have the best players available, especially at pass rusher, because you have to bring these pressure to these quarterbacks. And I think Huff was the best at that. So I don't know, man.
Man, listen, I keep telling people they think everything's all, peaches and cream. All right, let him walk. And then when it's time to meet that man, Lamar Jackson.
Dwayne Brown.
Yeah, let him walk away. let Huff walk away, and then it's time to go talk about playing Lamar Jackson, and then we'll see what's up when you don't have somebody to consistently. I'm not even talking about Patrick Mahomes. Again, Patrick Mahomes, great player. We all know that, right? Lamar Jackson is phenomenal. He's a great player as well. Go play him and see what's up when you can't get consistent pass rush on Lamar Jackson. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Let me tell you. You're going to feel the burn. I'm telling you.
Definitely.
All right. And listen.
And the thing about this year was we had rotation when it comes to this pass rushing and stuff as well, too. So that's why it really helped us as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And again, listen, the Ravens, they ain't going to do nothing but get better. There's already been talks about Saquon Barkley possibly becoming a Raven. Oh, brother.
Oh,
let me tell you.
God.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Your worst nightmare possibly could come true. Saquon Barkley in a Ravens uniform with Lamar Jackson.
The play act. Oh my God.
Wait till you get a load of these options.
Oh my God,
wait till you get a load of the play action. Okay, don't bite on the play action and they really be running. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, let's do some options. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. It's cool. All I'm saying is it's cool.
Have some protection as well too, and an actual offensive line.
Bruh.
Oh my God.
Oh my, bruh. Okay. Well, let's just let Bryce Huff go. Everything's cool. Listen, everything's good. We just let Bryce Huff go. We ain't got, that's nothing, right? That's nothing to a boss. That's nothing to a boss.
I guess we're gonna try to outscore teams.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's nothing to a boss. That's nothing to a boss. All right. So as we continue to talk about this team and what's going on here, man, you look at this situation at the wide receiver position, right? Man, I'm thinking to myself, man. Calvin Ridley, a lot of people talking about him. Is that a guy that you want to see the Jets target in free agency, or what do you think?
We have no choice right now. We have to bring up that number 2 wide receiver right now. We have to get on the phone, the source. You gotta start recruiting. We gotta go full force. Aaron Rodgers, I understand you probably playing golf right now in Arizona or something like that. You got to come back and try to start recruiting as well too.
Yeah.
But brother, we need Calvin Ridley. We definitely need as much weapons on offense because that would help out this man Garrett Wilson as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Listen, Mike Evans went back to Tampa Bay and got him that deal, so he's gonna be there. And when he's off the market, I know a lot of people talking about Devontae Adams. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we have the money for it. I pretty much know we don't have the money for it, and I don't think we have the capital to give up either because we need, offensive line help out the wazoo. So, it's going to be interesting going forward, but Ridley is definitely going to be a guy that the Jets target, or try to at least grab in free agency, I hope.
He should be the number 1.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, before I let you go, Val, one of my final questions for you. Backup quarterback. Who do you want to see the Jets target? Who's the guy that you want to see in the Jets uniform to back up Aaron Rodgers next season?
That I would say Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Mitchell, Tyrod Taylor, and I would say those 3 are basically the top ones that I feel like is really good. I'm probably forgetting one. But absolutely not no Zach Wilson. I'm still waiting for that notification to come through that he has been released or he's been traded.
Listen.
And that day I will be calling in. And I'm sorry.
Listen, I don't know if they'll release him. That's $11 million on dead money. But I'm confused. I've been talking to people all night. What team is going to take him? Because
Hopefully
not
the
only do they have
Giants,
to give
they
you
like
capital,
catching our
not only do they have to give you capital,
Mhm.
but they have to eat some of the cash too to take them.
Take
It's like
that contract.
5.4 million,
Yeah.
unless the Jets negotiate something differently and eat more of that contract. I don't know, man. I don't know. We will see.
Wow.
I floated it out there.
I would say the Steelers,
Mm-hmm.
Steelers, Giants, Falcons, and probably San Francisco. Who knows? But no, not San Francisco. There's the cap. Yeah, they cannot even afford that.
No.
Talk about a team that's behind the cap. Yeah, that's a team. They
Listen.
had to win the Super Bowl.
It's going to be interesting. I've talked about, the possibility of him just signing an extension and lowering that cap number. Maybe that's an option. We'll see. I floated it out there. We'll see. Get you a backup quarterback. He becomes the third string. He learns, soaks up the knowledge. We'll see if if he's would be willing to do that. We'll see. We will see what the Jets do with him. All right. Now, before I let you go, Val, because we're short on time, give me a free agent. Give me a free agent out there that's not, on the Jets roster. Give me one free agent that you believe the New York Jets must come out of free agency with, and give me a guy that is going to be a free agent that's on the Jets roster that you want to see them resign.
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so I would say we need to get Calvin Ridley. I think that's I wouldn't say that's a much need. I would say an offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So either an offensive lineman, whoever it is,
Mm-hmm.
or Calvin Ridley. So I'll give you two. And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
A guy that's on the Jets roster that you want to see resign.
Oh, the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I would say Bryce Huff. Or Mekhi Becton.
Okay, or Mekhi Becton. Okay. I respect that. Listen, Val, I got to slide off. They're going to start hating on me. The time is low, okay? Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
Hey, time to get your Busta Rhymes and Twister on, man. Let's go, man.
You have yourself a good one, Val. Oh, man.
Have a good one, man.
Listen, man. Salutes, Val. Listen, salutes and respect to all the callers we had tonight. It was a phenomenal show. I want to thank everybody, for calling in and sharing their perspectives, man. Look, I'm thinking the New York Jets gotta come out of this free agency with Michael Winu, okay? That's what I'm thinking. And the New York Jets player I want to see re-signed is Huff. I want to see him re-signed, okay? Got to get that done, all right? We're going to be having that discussions. Time keeps going on. We're going to keep having these shows, but I got to get up out of here before, people start hating, all right? Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show, okay? I am also on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Okay, follow me. I'll follow you right back. If you will troll me, no issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times. Okay, he's gonna be back next season. All right, and I got a feeling he's gonna be healthy all season. All right, and he's going to destroy people. Just put him back at guard, please. All right? Don't play all these games. Put him back at guard. Let him dominate, okay? So it'll be me and Vera Tucker down there. Me and Vera Tucker down there just absolutely trolling people, okay? Fight on. All right? I'm also on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. Type in, okay, Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. And if you want to troll me, get in those comments, all right? And I'll troll you and I'll go right back and forth with you. Okay, and as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing.
90 seconds.
Thank you for taking the times out of your day to call in, to interact with your boy in the chat. Salutes to all the savages. To listen, anything that you do, any way that you interact with your boy, I want to thank you. Okay, you folks are the absolute best. Until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace. 1 second, folks. foul. Okay, listen. I want to thank you folks, okay, for calling in and listening, or, viewing. Salute to all the savages in the chat as well. Again, please subscribe if you're new. All right. For those of you that may not know, exclamation point links in the chat brings up my link tree. My link tree has the links to all of my social media platforms, okay? All of them. It also has the links to all of my YouTube pages, excuse me. Please get involved. Follow me across my social media platforms. Please get involved with all my YouTube pages. More reactions on the way, okay? Salutes to everybody watching my reactions. We're going to continue those, okay? We're having a lot of fun, laughing at fools on the internet, covering all these topics. All right, we're going to continue that. So please get involved with that reaction page on my YouTube in case you haven't already. So yeah, we have a lot of fun doing that. And again, please follow me across all my social media platforms. So those of you that may not know, my name is Long Beach Joe. I have to tell people that. Some people don't know that. It's in the name, but my name is Long Beach Joe. I do this radio show year round. We'll continue this throughout free agency, throughout the draft that's coming up. We'll be, having people on to talk about the draft analyst, and we'll be talking about a lot of different stuff as this, continues on. And we have a blast doing this, okay? I take live calls here. We have a lot of fun. We do our thing here. Here's the deal. First is, again, I take live calls. Please make sure that your phone lines are good to go. Make sure that you have a good phone. Make sure that your phone make sure that your phone is good so I'll be able to hear you, okay? If you're like crazy muffled, or if there's a lot of like echoing and stuff like that, I'm going to have to move on from you. I need to be able to hear you, okay? This number right here, that's the number to the show. That's why it's there. And call in, okay? Again, when you call in, I can see you, okay? I can physically see you, all right? So when you call in, just be patient and I will get to you. If I do not know you by name, I will call out your area code, okay? If I call out your area code, please know what your area code is, okay? Please know what it is. I've had people in the past not know what their area code is, okay? And I've gotten into it with a person that didn't know what their area code was, okay? So please, please know what your area code is, because I want to be able to hear you. So as long as your sound is good, again, don't call me from a phone you found in a Home Depot dumpster, okay? Call me from a phone that has, good connection, good lines. I want to be able to hear you. Make sure, you watch also using like wireless headsets. Sometimes those things like cause like mad echoes and I can't hear you. So, please, cut down on that stuff and call in with some takes. The only thing that I do not allow on my show is cursing. Don't call into my show cursing. Okay, don't do that. I will get you up out of here. Okay, listen, this is my platform, but you got to keep in mind this is YouTube. Okay, YouTube's very sensitive. I love YouTube. Okay, you can't call in here cursing like crazy. All right, not just because it's YouTube, but it's also I run a family show. Okay, this is a family show. All right, so you have old people, young people that listen to us. Please, respect my platform, respect my listeners. Don't go crazy with the cursing, okay? I'll give you a warning. Say, hey, chop that down. But if you continue on, I'll move on. Sometimes I don't even give a warning. If it's bad enough, I just get you up out of there, okay? And the Savages know. They've been here before where I've just dispatched. I can't deal with it, okay? So that's the only thing, all right? As y'all heard tonight, people call in. Even if I disagree with your take, I hear you out. That's what this is all about. It's about having discussion. I've had people say, oh, they were a little scared of calling in, a little concerned about, I don't want to, argue or go. I'm not going to argue with you. We're just going to have a discussion. We're just friends having a discussion. That's all it is. There's people that call in all the time that I disagree with consistently. There's people that disagree with me. Look, the Savages, the chat is full of people that disagree with me about a ton of stuff. So it is what it is there. Okay. So, but I want to have that discussion, go back and forth, but I will challenge your viewpoint. Even if I agree with it, I still challenge viewpoints just to see why you think the way you do. That's what I love to do. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you got going on up here. Okay. I want to hear it. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. We also do live watch-alongs as well. Live watch-alongs on the during the season. We'll watch games together when my schedule allows. Okay, we'll watch games together, and we have live radio shows directly after the game. And boy, oh boy, do those shows get pretty hot. Okay, man, especially when you're losing. Man, people call in with crazy hot takes. Okay, but here we are. Okay. So yeah, we do that too. So just, subscribe. And again, I want to thank all of my subscribers. I want to thank everybody that has followed. Please continue to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I want to thank everybody that listens to me, no matter where you're from, especially my overseas people, which is crazy again that people hit me up and say, Joe, I'm in England, or Joe, I'm in wherever, and I listen to you. And I'm like, wow, you're overseas. You're in the UK. You're in the Netherlands. You're in Australia, and you listen to me. I am stunned. I'm truly stunned. I'm telling you, it's still it's still blows my mind. But I appreciate y'all, and hey, do your thing. And overseas callers, if you want to call in, you can call in too. I know you can call in using Skype. I know that like calling in from your actual phone, depending on how it's set up, but I take overseas calls too. We've had overseas callers before, from Germany, from all it, but let me know so it doesn't, run up your phone bill. I'm not trying to run up your phone bill, but let me know, whether via the chat or direct DM, and, I'll definitely, get you on it and talk to you. Cause I want to hear from y'all too. Yeah, Bree salutes. Bree says Ireland salutes. He is from Ireland. See, again, thank you, Bree. Yeah, I have a lot. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was talking to some people. It was a while ago, and it was like, I'm just minding my business, and they like, Joe, we listen to the show. Hey, what are you? I'm thinking about this, and I was like, wait a minute, you really do listen to the show because you heard my take, and he was like, yeah, man, I think that's a great take. And sometimes, again, people hit me up because they disagree with me. And they ask, hey, why do you think this? And we go back and forth and we have that discussion. I'm always stunned that people listen to me so far away from me. So I want to thank y'all for that. I really, really appreciate y'all. Yeah, so we have a lot of fun. Oh, this number right here. Okay. Yeah, I just looked in the chat. I'm going to tell y'all something about Outlaw in a second. But that number below me is the number to the show. Okay. So you call in that number, okay? Now, keep in mind, my shows start at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay? Every time. Unless I tell you that it's not. But every time my show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. The phone lines for the show open up at like 6:50 p.m. Eastern, from what I know. There are other people that say, Joe, the lines open up way before that. Stop it, bro. We got it, okay? And the reason why they tell me this is because what a lot of people do to get on the show earlier is they'll call in at, from what I know, 6:50, and they'll wait on the lines. Okay, I'm not telling y'all who's doing this. It's Rusty and Val. Okay, I'm not telling y'all who's doing this, but it's Rusty and Val. Okay, and they'll call in, they'll wait on the lines, and then when the show starts, as y'all heard tonight, I usually talk for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then I go straight to the line, okay? Tonight we had a bit to cover. We covered it, and then boom, I go to the line. So that's what the show is about. It's about talking to y'all and having a good time and having discussion, okay? I can sit up here and talk all day, but I want to talk with y'all and cover these topics, to cover the Jets. So, yeah, that's, what we do. So it's not illegal for you to do that. It's legal for you to do it. I have no issues with it whatsoever. Only reason I say this out loud in front of y'all on the stream after the show is because I want it to be fair for everybody. That's what I want. I want it to be fair. So I'll let everybody know. Okay. And even if you don't call in early, I'm going to get to you. Trust. I move through my callers, as y'all heard tonight. I usually give everybody from anywhere from 5 to like 8, maybe 10 minutes to definitely speak their piece. And I listen. And y'all heard tonight, I let my callers get the last word and all of that. Again, even if I disagree with you, I want to hear from you. All right. Outlaw says, Joe disagrees with the defamation case. No, Val's been talking about defamation. He's going he's going to file on me and see me in court and all defamation is coming. Listen, that case is never coming. That case is never going to happen. He's never going to do that. It'd be very easy to beat that defamation case. Okay. I'm not defaming his character. Okay. I'm still waiting. I'm out here thugging it. I'm out here thugging it, you know? But yeah. So, but it's not illegal, okay? It's not illegal, you know? I don't have no problem with Val. Everyone knows I really enjoy talking to him as well as all the rest of the callers. Val, he don't like me putting that out there. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say it. He want his shine, okay? And I don't have no problem with it. But I just got to be fair, man. I've got to be fair, okay? So that's what this show is about. We have a lot of fun. We have a blast. We also play games on this channel from time to time as well. I'll get back to that eventually. So if you see your boy gaming in here, come on in here, talk, you know, and chit-chat about life and whatever else we got going on, all right? So I got to get on up out of here, okay? I got to go, all right? Outlaw, salutes. Always good to see you in the building. Outlaw says, everything you hear right now is defamation of character. All speculations, no proof or evidence. This man is really trying to fool y'all. He is really trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Please do not be confused, okay? Don't get got, y'all. Don't get got. Bree salutes again. Thank you for watching your boy all the way from Ireland. GVH, always good to see you in the building as well. Jay salutes and respect to you. Jay says send a fifth to the Jags for Cam Robinson. They can't afford him. Yeah, but Cam Robinson is a bit up and down, right? There's a lot of talks about him too. So, I mean, that's a possibility. That could be part of a plan. But we'll see what happens. GVH says we play the Niners in Cali. I will try to be there because it's 45 minutes away. So this game with Albridge still as our DC will have added fuel. Shanahan lets Sulla take Mike LaFleur, but we supposedly block them. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. NY Jets FL, salutes and respect to you as well, man. Always good to see you in the building. Salutes to everybody, man, that just came on by and kicked it with your boy. Badger did. Always good to see you in the building, too. Always good to see everybody, man. Coming on by, saying what's up to your boy Dakota. Always good to see you in here. NY Flight Jets Talk salutes. Always good to see you in the building again. NY Jets Flight Talks. Ask when do you do call-ins? I do call-ins every show. Every live radio show we do a call-in, and we talk that talk. So the number for the call-ins again is right underneath me. 515-602-9639. I announce it throughout the show as well. And you're welcome to call in, man. Welcome to call in. So please do so on the next show or whenever you can. All right. So we have a lot of fun. So salutes to everybody, man. Yeah, man. So we really enjoy ourselves here. I really enjoy doing the show. Really like connecting with people. Dakota, and salutes to you as well, man. Thank you so much for the shout out. I really, really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you. Yeah, so we have a lot of fun, man. Outlaw says, great stream. Thank you so much. Salutes and respect to you. I appreciate that. He says, what is your prediction? Do you feel like we're going to get Calvin Ridley? I do. I think we'll end up with Calvin Ridley. I do. And you know what else, man? I think with our offensive line upgraded, and I think with Aaron Rodgers back under center, I think we'll see our wide receiver core be better than they were last season. I'm not saying that Allen Lazard is going to turn into a, Devontae Adams, but I just got a feeling that with Aaron Rodgers back in the captain seat, that Allen Lazard is going to stand up straight and really actually play. That's how I feel. Because he stunk last year. I really feel like, Aaron Rodgers was the reason he came here. And I feel like he's going to want to, basically rejuvenate his career. Because to this point, like Sulla said, Sulla literally got on a podium and said, hey, he's got a year and a half left here. Whoa. That's telling you, we're going to get your keister out of here as soon as possible. Okay. So I think we'll see, some guys take a step forward. I think we will end up with Calvin Ridley. And I also think the New York Jets are probably going to take a swipe at a wide receiver in the draft as well, probably in the third or fourth round. So we'll see. But yeah, I think we probably will end up with him. So yeah, that's my take. So I got to get out of here. Listen, folks, be safe. Okay, be safe. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world. Don't ask me why. Okay. But it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier by the day. Sit down with your friends and your family, eat some good food, watch some good TV. Make those memories, man. Make those memories with the people that you care about and love the most. You never know what could happen, okay? You never know what could happen, okay? Never do, all right? Something that's important to me in my life. Hope it's something that's important to you in yours, all right? So I'm going to get on up out of here. I'll let y'all know when the next show is going to be. I think free agency. Let me make sure I have the date right here. Let me see. Make sure I have the correct date. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay. So Monday is when free agency is gonna start. I think it's the 11th. I'll let you guys know when we're gonna have a stream covering that. But we're gonna definitely be covering free agency and the moves that the Jets have made. Hopefully we would have made some really solid moves. So we'll be talking about that as well. Outlaw says, absolutely, I feel like Allen Lazard is going to be better next year that Aaron Rodgers is back. He's going to be fully focused. Yes, he is. He is. I think he will be. Because if he isn't, bro, he is out of here for sure. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? He is out of here for sure. Outlaw says he sucked last year. He did. Yeah. He says, and I think Allen Lazard will be a better 3 than a 2. Wow. I mean, he's big enough. He's going to have to be the 2 because he's so big. He's going to have to be the 2. The 2 fits him. He'll be okay. He's just got to actually play. Allen Lazard was, and the crazy thing before I go, I turned up the heat on Allen Lazard like 2 weeks before everybody else did because I was watching him. He was just running lazy routes. He was dropping the football like crazy, running dumb, lazy routes, not fighting for the ball, not coming back to the ball, just loafing around out there. What game? I think it was the Bills game where he hugged a Bills player like down the field and was laughing and joking with it. It's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? Let me get up out of here. Listen. I'll see y'all on the next show. I'll let y'all know when it is. Again, please subscribe. Follow your boy across social media. I announce when I'm going live across social media and also on my YouTube and everywhere else. So you will know if you subscribe, hit that notification bell, click all, give the stream a thumbs up, follow your boy across social media, talk to me about the Jets, talk to me about life. We go back and forth. I have a lot of fun. So please do all those things and we'll be talking about, free agency and all the things going on the next show. So until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace.